Living in Kansas for nearly 20 years, it wasn't completely unexpected to see a few tornadoes in my time living in the Sunflower State. Many people go through their entire lives without witnessing this powerful weather phenomenon, let alone a tornado exceeding a mile in diameter. However, on the fateful day of May 28, 2019, I experienced just that outside the city of Lawrence, Kansas. Here, I want to share my story and some of the experiences of others. In the afternoon that day, several localized thunderstorms formed in northeast Kansas, south of Topeka. They advanced eastward, entering Douglas County. I was just coming back from the gym when I noticed the sky transitioning from sunny to being full of dark, ominous clouds. Once I returned home, I hopped into the shower at around 6 p.m. Around this time, the National Weather Service upgraded the severity of the storm to a tornado warning just south of Clinton Lake. The storm began to rapidly intensify as it continued its slow march towards Lawrence. The local news stations were tracking the storm using Doppler radar, storm spotters, local reports, and the news helicopter. See, while news choppers in California follow high-speed chases on the interstates, news helicopters in the Midwest spend their time chasing tornadoes. Personally, I wouldn't think that is very safe, and I'm not a pilot, so I couldn't really tell you why or how they are even to do something like that, considering these storms typically come with powerful winds in the form of down and up drafts. Anyway, as I exited the shower and put on some clothes, the tornado sirens were activated. The loud and eerie wail of the sirens entering my room from the open window. Honestly, these sirens are probably one of the most scary things about these storms. My roommates called for me and I ran downstairs and outside to go investigate with them. Not knowing what direction it was coming from, we decided to watch the news. The news stated it was veering east and would miss West Lawrence. However, residents on the east side were still under the gun. Thankfully, we lived in the northern part of the city at that time. That's the moment one of my roomies decided to seek shelter at the local hospital, while another had a brilliant idea. Well, we should chase it! And like the mindless college-age individual who felt immortal that I was, I agreed that that would be a brilliant idea. We hopped into my car and began heading towards this street called Iowa Street. We began heading south, and as we crossed over a hill, we saw the behemoth for the first time. That's when we heard on the radio that the National Weather Service had upgraded the storm to a tornado emergency. That is the highest level that is given to a tornado by the National Weather Service, which I didn't even know existed, but apparently it's when a dangerously large tornado is headed towards a metropolitan population center. The tornado would reach EF4 status with winds climaxing at 170 miles per hour. As we entered the southern part of town, like Nosferatu in that one SpongeBob episode Messing with the Lights, the monstrous storm began to make the power eerily flicker, with the street lights flashing and local businesses suffering power failures. This is what is captured in the following video. However, thanks to these other YouTubers, I can share kind of what I experienced. And by the way, shout out to those other YouTubers, and they should totally get the credit for these videos, and you might be interested in checking them out. We parked in the Walmart parking lot and saw it as it traversed the K10 freeway. which, for your information, is one of the main transportation arteries into the heart of Kansas City from Lawrence. It narrowly missed my father's work, located in the East Hills Business Park, by less than a mile. Once the danger passed, we drove onto K10 and saw how the powerful winds bent all the road signs down to the ground. We saw the carnage the tornado inflicted onto the neighborhoods south of Lawrence. Roofs torn off of houses and trees torn apart. Approximately 60 houses were damaged in varying degrees in our county alone. Miraculously, there were only 18 injuries and no fatalities. That's when we decided to return home to see where the storm was headed once it was outside of our county. That's when we see this video on the news.
Okay, well, we have Emily Rittman right now who's here for a report, but let's keep that. Oh my gosh. There you are, Emily. Where exactly are you?
Right now we're on 32 Highway. We are just outside of Linwood, Kansas. I'm sure you can hear the tornado sirens are blaring here. We are on the east side of this storm. We are watching it closely, also staying in close contact with you all there at the station to know when we may need to move.
You need to move.
Off in the distance
You need to move right now. That is coming straight at you.
Yes.
Linwood's in the path. Get out of there. Just get out of there and get to a safe location. Okay. All right, Emily is right in the middle of the path, and it was bearing down on her. That was the tornado that you were looking at live. She's in Linwood. She's right up the road, and that's where that tornado is going. Sorry, didn't mean to get a little bit excited there, but I'm telling you, that is a life-threatening situation that she was in at that moment, and she needed to get out of there, and I mean toot sweet, north or south, and just go until you're into a safe location.
See, it's some kind of initiation by Midwest news stations to send out the rookies to chase these type of storms. This usually creates entertaining content that hooks many viewers. However, some viewers were horrified and worried for this woman's safety and questioned why they would attempt such a dangerous stunt. The storm and the media's shenanigans were probably the most shocking events that I have witnessed on live TV for quite some time. It was pretty wild to hear the news say the National Weather Service advises all media to use the strongest language possible to warn people about this storm. The storm would eventually dissipate outside of Kansas City at around 7 to 8 p.m. Now, whether you believe it is the work of God or simply good luck, the storm took the most optimal route to create the least amount of carnage and threats to human life. The tornado happened to move between Lawrence and the city of Eudora and stopped just short of the Kansas City metropolitan area. However, Linwood, a small town northeast of Eudora, wasn't so lucky. The images revealing the town appeared to be hit by an atom bomb. Unfortunately, a co-worker of mine lost her house in the storm. Obviously, it would have been best if no cities fell victim to this tornado. However, considering cities of 100,000 and 6,000 were spared, many believe that the storm ended up taking the least dangerous path. The storm would end up causing $4 million in damages in Douglas County alone. That is my experience witnessing a mile-wide tornado. Still, the most awe-inspiring natural phenomena that I have personally witnessed. Every May 28th, I still think about that fateful day. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story regarding my experience. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a blessed day.